Alright, we're back with promises to keep. Now, the last one kind of ended at a weird point. I was going to continue it further, but I had a problem with my recording software at that point, so I just found a nice little piece and cut it into this. And so this is where we're going to be starting for this one. Let's just hit load. I believe we were on this save file right here. Let's go back a few, and then we'll just warm right back into this. Really excited to see where the story goes. I do know that I only have this game is still in development, so the whole game isn't released yet, and I am on the free version of this game. So at a certain point, it will end. I won't be able to play throughout this entire game, but if once we do get to the end, if you do like this game, and if you like it now, you can actually go to itch.io, and I believe you can get a version that has more to it. But everything is subject to change as they're developing the game, so just keep that in mind. I hope I said that all properly. But anyways, let's begin. Okay, let's start here. And just like that, the living room goes quiet. I exhale, remember to breathe, Brandon, and settle back into the couch cushions. I hadn't really been prepared for meeting so many people in such a short time, and for reconnecting with an old friend, too. I take a moment to relish the silence, knowing it will all be in short supply in the coming days. Sure enough, it wasn't long before the pause steps echo into the stairwell. I hear some audio coming from a phone, followed up by a familiar soft giggle. Then Rofi hops off the second to last step and comes into view. Hey Brandon, what you up to? He makes his way to the couch and plops down, laying leisurely on his back. Just taking a breather. I didn't think I'd see so many new faces today. I know, right? Isn't it exciting? Well, I mean, yes, but it's also exhausting. I chuckle a little, and it turns into a yawn. I instinctively curl into the soft couch cushions. Okay, sleepyhead, enjoying your peace and quiet down here, huh? I curl up even more with a mischievous smile spreading across my face. Sure am, and no orange dogs barking my ears off either. I study him carefully, testing the waters. But to a relief, he commits to the bit, letting out an exaggerated gasp and throwing a dramatic paw over his forehead. Then he gives me a cute pout accompanied by the softest set of puppy eyes. How rude, and I was here about to invite you to hang out with me until dinner. I sit up, clearly interested. I was just gonna play video games and lay around, you know? Just as I was about to respond, I hear more paw steps on the stairwell. Hey you two, just here to grab that last box. Rofi and I both waved to him. Brandon, you've met Hunter, right? Just a few minutes ago, yeah. Hunter bends down to scoop up the cargo. Yep, we're best friends already. Wow, Brandon, for someone who leaves the house once a month, you sure know how to make friends quickly. I force a smile, wincing internally, if only he knew how wrong he was. Hey, maybe they've got all the practice they need, 100% friend rate whenever they meet someone new. They both laugh, bouncing off each other's energy, and the two of them together are silly, but I could see them being a bit much too. Oh, dang. Hunter points to the last box lying forgotten near the door. There's another monitor in that box? Hey, Brandon, want to grab that one for me? I don't want to carry too many fragile things at once. And now you're stealing Brandon from me? How could you? He nudges me playfully. See, I told you you're always the popular one. You can have him back after he helps me with the boxes. We all gotta do our part around here, right? I can tell he's joking, but the comment still sends a jolt of guilt down my spine. Of course I'll help once I get settled in, then. I'm interrupted by Theo shouting down at the stairwell. Hunter, you got that box yet? Oh, that's our cue. We're coming, Theo. I scurry over and grab the remaining box by its unexpected weight. Hunter turns to Rofi, who's now making himself comfy on the couch, absorbed in his phone. Don't have too much fun by yourself now. What? No, I'm coming too. He sticks out his tongue at Hunter, and in record time jumps off the couch and zips past him up the stairs. And there he goes. You know, I always said he should try out for track. You two know each other? I feel like I'm doing a bad job of keeping up here. Yeah, same college, I mean graduated obviously, but we're buds. Makes sense, they seem too comfortable around each other to just met today. I should ask them about that sometime. Anyways, We're needed at the front line. Hunter bounds upward, humming a jaunty tune. As I start to follow, I take a moment to adjust my grip on the box, and my eyes fall on the numerous photos adoring on the stairwell walls. Many of them were presumably Theo's childhood days spent camping, playing in the yard, and the amusement park. One in particular catches my eye. Theo's 17th birthday, 2005. A teenage Theo, lengthier and less tired-looking, and a tall, broad-shouldered woman, another Arctic fox standing side by side in front of a new car. Maybe this is him and his mom? They look alike in the photo, same fluffy white fur, similar face and snout. Someone had written in neat, clipped cursive in the bottom left corner of the photo. Theo's 17th birthday, 2005. Theo was a cute kid, huh? I chuckle softly, adjusting my box again. Sorry, I got distracted. Hey, no worries, we can ask him about some of these later. We'll have plenty of time to kill. I glance back to the photo of him and the woman, and their smiles wide and bright, and unabashedly joyful. Come on, man, let's not keep them waiting for much longer. Sorry. I turn and follow Hunter's swinging ringtail up the stairs. At the top, we find Theo leaning against the wall, phone in paw. Still looking for others to join us? Theo looks up, clear the top of the stairs. Oh yeah, I'm just making sure no one else needs anything before it gets dark out. Hunter grins. You're a good egg, Theo. I nod in agreement. Yeah, it's awesome that you're looking out for so many people. We all really appreciate it. He clears his throat. His voice is a little huskier than normal. It's nothing really. It's a big place. Might as well put it to use. And it has everything. Wi-Fi, food, electricity. Hunter fakes a little shiver. And heating. Who wouldn't want to live here? I suppress a chuckle and roll my eyes at Rofi-like performance. Well, I'm happy you're making yourself at home. Oliver is studying in that room down the hall. Rofi already ran past, as I'm sure you noticed. Right on cue, I heard his muffled roof of laughter. Theo leads us over and knocks gently to announce our presence. Come in. Theo pushes the door open and Tremus is sitting in the middle of the floor, chatting with Rofi while he unpacks. Ollie, on the other hand, is scurrying around the room, holding 5 trailing cables in one hand, his phone in the other, muttering to himself. Just gotta put this here, and this cable should go on the desk, and oh gosh, who is texting me right now, of all times? Oh, are we interrupting anything? Oliver, are you, finding everything you need? Ollie doesn't reply, now engrossed in answering his phone. He's just getting organized, as hard as that is to believe. I'd say he moves faster than me, which, you know, is pretty fast. Artemis gives Rofi a look. Yeah, I don't get the point of inviting me on walks if you're going twice my speed the whole time. Hey, I slow down for you sometimes. How magnanimous. I'm forever in your debt. Though I'm enjoying their banter, and I can tell Theo is too, the heavy box is starting to take its toll on my arms. I open my mouth but struggle to break into conversation. I sneak a glance at Hunter, but particularly he doesn't seem to be struggling in the slightest. Anyways, that's good to hear. I just wanted to check in. Artemis, have you taken a look around at your space yet? You know, it's a basement, but I promise you it's actually pretty comfortable. It's perfect for me. I don't need a lot of space. My eyes dart around the room, looking for a proper space to put this thing down. I rearrange my grip and feel a jolt of pain through my wrist. Great, it was nice of you to trade rooms with Oliver. I suppose it can get a little chilly down there. Whoa, you've never shown me that kind of benevolence, Artie. I just know he'll be more comfortable up here. He can tell pretty minute differences in temperature. He gets anxious without windows, too. Reaching my limit, I open my mouth and say something. But at that moment, I feel the box start to slip out of my paws. Before I can react, the handle slides neatly from my grip and drops like a stone. Oh no. I see a flash of movement as Hunter lunges just in time. In a split-second reaction, he shifts the box into the right arm, leans into a half squat, perfectly catching the falling item beneath. Phew. Warn me next time you're about to drop an expensive piece of tech. For a terrible moment, I just stand there feeling the stares of everyone in the room boring into me. Even Ollie snapped out of his intense focus to watch. My ears flatten against my head. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. My voice breaks the spell, and Ollie zooms over to us, snatching the lid off the box and peering inside. He lets out a deep breath. Don't worry about it. Nothing's broken. Thank you. I was holding it fine and then... No, please don't apologize. No harm done. Ollie smiles and meets my eyes incredibly. I believe him. I smile back gratefully. Yeah, no harm done. I was just messing with you. Although I hope y'all can't hold this pose forever. Oh, sorry. Ollie hops over to the desk, swiping a number of objects off onto the floor. Ollie, I just organized the stuff you put there. You can leave them both here on the desk. Thank you so much. Hunter straightens with ease, walks the 2 boxes over, and turns to Theo. Need anything else, boss? Nope, that'll be all for now. Though we'll call you if that changes. Always at your service. Hunter walks out of the hallway, motioning for me to follow. Hey, I'm probably gonna get back to my room and relax a little. Wanna join? Rofi gasps, and is at my side in an instant, clutching my arm. I knew you were gonna try to steal Brandon from me. Ah yes, Rofi's famous puppy dog eyes. As deadly as always. Whoa, easy there, I'm no thief. We can all just hang out in my room, the more the merrier, right? But there's this new game I want to try out, and I only have 2 controllers. I opened my mouth to ask why we can't just take turns, and then I realized he just wants to spend more time with me alone, just the 2 of us playing video games like back in the old days. Hunter laughs and leans forward, committing to Rofi's bit. Don't be greedy, Rofi. You 2 have known each other for so long. Brandon and I just have to make up for lost time. And the raccoon gives me a knowing look and a twinkle of amusement in his eye. Seems like someone wants to get some one-on-one time with you, Brandon. But for real, it's your choice. Just let me know. The door's open too. Rofi giggles, breaking character for a moment, before snapping back into the lethal pout. Oh, of course, feel free to leave poor old Rofi behind. Those eyes used to destroy me. But now I can see the laughter behind them. I don't think he'll actually be mad if we hang out with Hunter for an hour or 2. After all, we have plenty of time to spend together over the next few days, or however long it takes. It really was my choice. So who should I... Oh, I'm getting a choice! Wait a minute. After playing this game for so long, I'm getting a choice. Wait. It really was my choice. Who should I hang out with? Oh, we're hanging out with Rofi. Yeah, we hanging out with Rofi. I'd only just started to catch up with Rofi, and I was looking forward to spending more time with him. I can't resist those eyes for long. Rofi literally jumps for joy, his arms in the air, and cheers. Yes, I finally have someone to try this new game with. My room's this way, come on, come on. And just like that, Rofi skips down the hall and disappears into the doorway. Sorry, Hunter, I hope you don't mind. But the raccoon's eyes are full of mirth. He doesn't seem upset at all. Hey, don't worry about it. You 2 go have your fun. We're all going to be stuck in the same house anyway, so I'm sure we'll get the chance to hang. Hit me up whenever. You got to do me one favor, though. Crush him at that game for me. There's nothing I'd like to see more. The raccoon gives me a thumbs up and starts off down the hallway, hopping from paw to paw, jumping to touch the ceiling with each movement. I approached the door where Rofi disappeared and knocked on the frame. Oh, just get in here. Didn't you see me walk in? I was just trying to be polite. Come on now, how long have we known each other? I haven't changed that much, you know. He didn't have to tell me that. So far, the only difference was his height. I always was taller than him growing up, but now... Rofi waves at me from the bed and lays down on top of the simple brown comforter with white pillows. The bright winter daylight shines through the window, and I take a good look around the room. In the stark contrast to Ollie's room, it looks practically untouched. I just spot a handheld suitcase in the corner, neatly zipped up, a backpack lying against the wall, and a laptop charging on the desk. He really didn't bring much. What? The gorgeous layout of my room got your tongue? I'm just a bit surprised. Didn't bring much stuff over. I have everything I need, though. A bed, a desk, a chair, TV, window, a bathroom, water, electricity. What more could you have in a living space? I do remember him being a pretty simple dog. His room was incredibly plain, which I always found ironic for someone as bright and energetic as him. I'm actually not sure if that was his preference or his parents'. Either way, I guess his old habits die hard. Anyways, if you're done commenting on my lack of personal belongings, we have a video game to play. I watch Rofi prance around the room, swapping between his backpack and his suitcase, He bounds back to me and holds out 2 controllers. Player 1 or 2? Player 1, of course. Instinct takes over, and then we both plop ourselves down on the floor in the front of the TV, just like we did millions of times before. Let me get some tunes going. I game better with music on. What do you listen to these days? You'll see. He presses play on his music. A soft melody accomplished by a gentle tapping beat. Quiet, cozy music. Fitting. The game boots up. It's a battle royale type, but Rofi just sets it to local multiplayer so we can get a feel for the controls. We're both quiet at first, laser focused on learning the game. The silence doesn't bother me like it normally does, though. Honestly, I just feel comfortable around him, now as I did back then. Despite his crazy antics and his jolly nature, he's pretty good at creating a warm and cozy environment, figuratively and literally. Eventually, I break the silence first. Remember when these video game nights used to be a commodity? For me, you mean, you got a game whenever you wanted to. What about all of our productive study sessions at my place? I literally can't believe my parents never caught on. For such helicopter parents, they should be pretty oblivious at times. Rofi used to come over 2 or 3 times a week to study at my house. He usually finished his homework long before I did, and I'd always find himself glued to the TV while I scrambled to catch up with him. Well, I guess they always found other excuses to ground you. Like the fake Mon Faso? Wow, that brought back some memories. The fake Mon trading cards were a huge thing in our elementary and middle school, but I've forgotten all about them. Rofi used to hide all of his cards in his locker before going home. It all came flooding back to me now. At some point in our middle school, our friend group had brought a mystery card pack. For a group of unboxing sessions, most of us got common low-value cards, typical pack filler. But Rofi ended up pulling a card worth nearly $500. We all lost our minds. For a group of preteens, $500 was unfathomable. The ironic thing was, of course he had to keep it a secret. There's no way he could tell his parents about the card. A couple of us offered to help him sell it, but he wouldn't part with it. That is until his parents found out about his collection. He managed to sneak the rare card to me ahead of time, but the rest of his deck wasn't so lucky. They threw away every single one of his cards in the trash and grounded him for weeks. Remembering this distraught face makes my blood boil. Here, hold on a second, I got something to show you. Rofi pauses the game and gives me a knowing grin, hopping up to grab his backpack. No way. I see him unzip a side pocket to reach into his bag, and I hear another zipper. A secret pocket? You know it. I see him pull out a small card out of his bag. Ta-da, in perfect condition. He hands the case to me, a single card inside, the holographic char lizard. Give me one second, okay. He hands the case to me with a single card inside, the holographic char lizard card looking the same as it did the day he pulled it. Wow, I can feel the goofy smile start to spread across my face. For some reason, knowing that he was able to hang on to it just makes me so happy. You'll never know how much it's valued at now. You're right, I won't. How much? Look it up. I roll my eyes because he could just tell me, but he obviously wants to drag out the realization. Silly pup. 75,000 Rofi, that's life-changing money. Pretty cool, right? Cool? I mean, yeah, I guess, but that's an insane amount of money for just one card. Yeah, sure, but I mean, why haven't you sold it yet? Don't wanna. I would kill for extra 75k in my pocket. Hey, don't get any ideas. It holds a lot of sentimental value for me. And I'm not really in the need for money, to the point where I'd trade this for cash. I guess that makes sense. I remember the happiness I felt when I learned he still had it. Wait, I never asked, what kind of job do you have? Well, I was a biology major, so... Doctor? No, I could never. I don't want to be in debt for the rest of my life. I went to PA school and became a physician assistant. You operate under a doctor's supervision but do a lot of the same medical things they do, sacrificing a bit of the autonomy for a shorter education. It usually goes 2 years post-college for PA compared to over 8 years for doctors. Well, sure, but I didn't think your parents would let you become anything other than a doctor. Well, actually, they weren't very happy about it. They don't really like that I went the PA route instead of med school. But you just kept on trucking? Rofi nods. At some point, I have to live my own life, you know. Huh, I never thought I'd hear that from him. When we were kids, he was so obedient, always so frightened of what his parents would think. Maybe he'd changed in more ways than I thought. And really, the money isn't that bad. If you don't mind me asking, how much do you make? I could say I could buy 2 of those hollow Charizards each year, if my math is right. And the thing is, his math was always right. Okay, so he's making bank, got it. Isn't that bad? You're probably out-earning everyone on the street. He giggles. Okay, it's a good gig, I admit. He picks up his controller again. Mind if we get back to the game? I mean, I had more questions, but... Sure, sorry to pry. Nah, you're good. Rofi unpauses the room and goes quiet again. I can't help but think about what he said earlier. At some point, he just has to live his life. I wonder what adventures he went on after I left middle school. I could spend hours catching up with him like this. Over the course of our gaming, we've shifted closer, and now I feel him start to lean against me a little. Before I know it, his head is fully on my shoulder. I don't say anything at first, though I can feel a slight blush creep across my face. Our lives are so different now, but his fur still feels so familiar. I hear him glancing at me out of the corner of my eyes and hear a little giggle again. Soft, right? Huh? Oh, yeah. It's just like I remember. He could definitely feel my face warming up. Yeah? Sensing weakness, Rofi starts rubbing his cheek against my shoulder, distracting me with his impressively velvet fur. I make a critical mistake and the match goes to Rofi. Hey, come on now, you totally did that on purpose, sneaky dog. I give him a playful swat and he lifts his head off my shoulder. You said it was just like you remember. All good memories, I hope. Most of them, yeah, but we used to be doing this all the time. He flips over on his belly and looks up at me, expectantly. Like this. You going to join me? Oh, what? Belly flop, lay next to belly flop? What's the difference? We'll just say lay next to Rofi. For old time's sake, of course. I roll onto my belly and lay next to him, and Rofi starts the next round. I get the urge to run my paws through his head fur, fluffy as ever. But I resist the urge, remembering my promise to Hunter I had to win at least once. Without the shenanigans, the round lasts much longer, the two of us more easily matched. Dang it! And he wins again. Hey, are you sure you haven't played this before? I wouldn't lie to you about that. Fair enough, he was a prankster, not a liar. I ruffle his head fur playfully, earning a giggle from the dog. Once again it hits me. Just how easy we were picking things up where we left off. All thanks to him, really. Rofi could always warm up a room. He doesn't need to fill his living spaces with decorations or personal belongings. He breathes life into the place just by being himself. My earlier worries feel so silly now. At his core, he's still Rofi. He's just figured out who he was a bit more. As we continued playing, I started to lose track of time, lost in the game and lost in memory. Despite the circumstances, the many years we spent apart, I feel safe with Rofi. I'm so cozy. The last thing I want to think of before drifting off is that I have to get better at this game to beat him next time we hang out. I slowly stir awake, music still playing, and the first thing I see is Rofi breathing softly in his sleep. I let out a big yawn, shaking off the post-nap stupor. Rofi starts to stir next to me. He yawns too, stretches his arms and legs. He turns to face me, blinking slowly. That was a good nap. Agreed, after the craziness of today, I really needed it. I clamber to my paws and reach out to help Rofi up. Once standing, he stretches a bit more and turns off the TV. I'm starving, wonder what's for dinner. Great question, I'm sure they're figuring out something downstairs, maybe we could help. Race it down there. And he's already down there, he's already down to the very bottom. The dog zooms past me, throwing the door open, disappearing into the hallway. I'll have to catch up to him again.